8 things I wish I knew when I started training.
Structure to your training. One of the key things I wish I knew the importance of when I started training is the difference structure can make. Now this doesn't just mean knowing that on Monday you're training chest, Tuesday you're training legs, Wednesday back. Let me ask you a question. Every week when you go to the gym, do you know exactly what you did the week before, down to the exercise, the sets, the reps? More often than not, people go to the gym and every week they'll do whatever it is they fancy on that given session. So let's say chest for example. One week they'll do barbell bench press, the next week they'll do dumbbells, or they may just rearrange the order of what they're doing in the workout. So one week they'll start with bench and then do dumbbells, and then the next week they'll do dumbbells first and then move on to bench. This used to be me, but if you're keen on actually making progress, you need to be following a regimented program for a prolonged period of time to actually measure your progress. So every week, your training session for your split should be the same. You should be writing down the weight you did, the reps, and maybe some notes on how the sets felt. So every week you can focus on actually bettering what you did the week before, instead of every week going in the gym and lifting the same weights that you've been lifting for the last year. I would normally suggest following the same program for around 6 to 8 weeks before switching it up and varying the exercises. Which split is the best for growing muscle? Now, after years of trying numerous splits, I have found that the best split is a push-pull leg split. Here's why. After years of research into the most efficient and effective way to grow muscle, it has been found that you need to be working close to failure when training each individual muscle group in order to optimize muscle growth. Now, following a push-pull leg split means that you're not overtraining each muscle group and fatiguing them unnecessarily, but instead able to push that muscle group to absolute failure. Let me break this down so it's a little bit easier to follow. Let's imagine you follow a bro split training program. On chest day, you may do 5 or 6 different chest exercises. What this means is that by the 3rd exercise, you're going to have trained chest so much that by the 4th, 5th, and 6th exercise, you're not even going to be training close to failure in order to actually achieve muscle growth. You're just going to be training under fatigue, which essentially means at this point that you're not actually benefiting the muscle at all apart from just overworking it. So if you keep it at that 3 chest exercise limit and grouped it with shoulders and triceps, you could train all 3 of those muscle groups to optimal failure whilst pushing heavy weight and not being overly fatigued. And by being able to train this session twice in 1 week, it means you're hitting the same amount of volume as a bro split, but over the course of a week. You're just giving your muscles more time to recover and push to the absolute max again. So really, when you think about it, it's a no-brainer. Resting between sets is important. Now, leading on from my previous point, let me ask you a question. How long do you normally rest between sets? 60 seconds, 90 seconds, maybe even 2 minutes? For as long as you've known, the training manuals have always taught you to not rest for too long between sets, as you want to keep the muscles working constantly and fatigue them in order for them to grow. But remember what I said in the last point, overworking and burning out the muscle isn't going to lead to optimal muscle growth. So instead of resting for 2 minutes in between sets and only managing to do the same weight for the same, if not less reps than the previous set, why not rest 3, 4, even 5 minutes so that your muscles can recover a lot more, and then you can push a heavier set again to failure. If that extra few minutes rest increases your muscles' capabilities, then why not take it? Because if you can push heavier weights, you're going to be promoting muscle growth. By not taking a healthy rest in order to recover, your muscles are still going to be fatigued. They aren't going to be working close to their potential, and you're not going to make the progress over time that you desire. Prioritize form over weight. Now, this is one thing I picked up on pretty early, and it's absolutely crucial. When you start going to the gym, don't be too eager to lift heavy, as it could have damaging effects over time. Injuries could occur, and by teaching yourself bad form, you're actually limiting the amount of progress you'll be able to make.
Take time to learn techniques, study the game, watch plenty of videos, and take your time before progressing the weight. It will accelerate your progress more than you can imagine, so be patient. Recovery and sleep is extremely important. Now, everyone likes to take pre-workout to fuel their sessions, but did you know the most important pre-workout you're going to get is sleep? When you get the right amount of sleep, which for someone performing in regular physical activity should be around 8 hours, it allows your muscles to recover better and overall let your body reset and fuel itself for your next session. If you can focus on consistently getting the correct amount of sleep, you're going to be prepping yourself the best way possible for your training sessions, which in turn increases the likelihood of you making progress every single session. Leading on from this, try to avoid burnout. Overtraining definitely is a thing, so make sure you take your rest days in order to allow your body to fully recover. I know you may always want to be in the gym lifting weights, but if you're actually serious about making progress over a prolonged period of time, you need to make sure you take your rest days so you can fuel your training to the absolute max. Understanding your nutrition. Now, if you're still at the point where you're just training and haven't really got any focus on your food,
then you're missing out on a lot of progress. I'll link a video here where I go into a lot more detail about macros and calories. But the basis of it is food is essential for making progress in the gym. It can help fuel you and provide you with the nutrients you need to make the most amount of progress. If you don't take your nutrition seriously, you're going to struggle to make consistent progress and you're more likely to plateau. So make sure you start thinking about what you're eating, because you could be wasting a lot of gains. Don't dirty bulk. Now, it may seem like a no-brainer. Eat more calorific food, don't worry about what it is, put on as much size as possible, and then when it gets to summer and you need to cut down, just go into a cut and get rid of all that body fat. Let me tell you why this is just simply wasting your time. Now, you have two different things to look at. One is your muscle mass and the other is your body fat percentage. In training and lifting weights in the gym, you're shifting your focus to the development of your muscle mass. Now, yes, you do burn calories in a gym session, so technically you could be losing body fat, which would mean you have control over your body fat percentage when you're performing a training session. However, the majority of work done in a gym is directly for the development of your muscle mass, as opposed to controlling your body fat percentage. The food you eat and the calories you consume is largely what's in control when it comes to your body fat percentage. So what is it I'm trying to say? If you dirty bulk, yes, you'll gain a lot more size, which will be body fat, but you'll hardly be doing anything good for the development of your muscle mass. So you're just putting on lots of fat and making the process of cutting even harder, with the same outcome as if you just lean bulked and took the process a lot more slowly. Because at the end of the day, the amount of muscle you build isn't going to change in a lean bulk or in a dirty bulk. The only thing that will change is how much body fat you put on. So why would you want to make the process of cutting that much harder? When you lean bulk, you can still get calories in, be eating more food and fuel your sessions to their maximum potential. You just won't be putting on too much body fat. Understand which supplements are good. Now, there are a lot of supplements out there, so it can be difficult to know what to take. So I'm just going to tell you some of my favorite products to take and why you could benefit from taking them as well. All my products are from Ghost, as you know, so if you want to get anything from Ghost, all the products I'm going to show you now, make sure you head over to Ghost Lifestyle and use my code J for 20% off at checkout. Whey protein. Quite simply, protein is for growth and repair. So essentially, more protein in your diet means more muscle growth, as long as you do everything else correctly in terms of training and nutrition. Creatine. I'm going to keep this quite simple without using any of the sciencey terms. If you take creatine, what essentially happens is that it helps provide energy throughout your workouts to the working muscles. It's not something noticeable per se, like you won't just all of a sudden start lifting double the weight you was lifting the week before. However, it's a subtle advantage it gives you, which if taken over time consistently can lead to a major advantage. The more energy you can provide to those working muscles, the harder they will work, and therefore the more progress you'll make. Fish oils. Fish oils are a popular supplement for their anti-inflammatory properties. Essentially, they can help with training because they help reduce muscle soreness and decrease the severity of your DOMS, the delayed onset of muscle soreness. So if you can be less sore when you're training over a period of time, you're going to be able to keep pushing harder and harder. Greens. Put simply, if you struggle to get enough fruit and veg in throughout the day, having this in your diet can help get you the nutrients you need. Ideally, you want to be making sure that you're getting your greens in through food. However, this is an option on the days that you can't get all your greens in through food, so that you still get the correct amount of vitamins, minerals, and fiber in your diet. Electrolytes. These can help enhance performance during exercise so that you get the most out of your training sessions. Pre-workout. Finally, pre-workout. If you need that energy boost to get you ready for your session, then pre-workout can help provide this. I would advise against taking it if you train late in the day or already consume high amounts of caffeine throughout the day, as you don't want it to interfere with your sleep cycle, which we've already established is extremely important. Equally, just like anything, your body can get used to pre-workout effects after using it for a while. So you may want to consider taking some time off it in order to allow your tolerance levels to reset. Otherwise, you're just going to keep craving more and more caffeine in order to feel the same effects as you did when you first started taking pre-workout. And too much caffeine just isn't good for you, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, caffeine is going to affect your sleep, and if you affect your sleep, you're affecting the most important pre-workout that you're going to get. And finally, don't compare yourself to others. My final bit of advice, if I could go back in time and tell myself when I was starting training, and hopefully I can give to you guys that are new to their fitness journey, is do not compare yourself to others. In this fitness game, you're going to see so much on social media that is going to blur your vision on what is actually reality. People that you aspire to look like and compare yourself to may not always be being honest about how they got to where they are. And there's other factors involved as well, like genetics. Sometimes certain people are going to have far better genetics than you that unfortunately you're just never going to be able to look that exact way. Of course, if you stick to the right things, eat well, train hard, you can make progress and look unbelievable. But you have to focus on your own journey. Of course, take inspiration from others and let that motivate you to keep pushing in the gym. However, don't always compare your progress to other people's progress. Like, let's say someone has got to a certain point in a year and you haven't got to that point in a year. Be patient, be consistent, keep doing the right things, and I guarantee you will make the progress you want. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button and making sure you subscribe to my channel. Comment down below what video you want to see next, and I'll see you all in the next video.